Hi RF Wellness, Rhonda here. It's Friday. Aren't you excited? I am. Tomorrow we are having a garage sale. So if you're in the area, stop by. Our whole community is having a garage sale. So I'm hoping to clean out a lot of junk and to move my office into the front living area. So anyways, stop by. We have lots of great things to sell. Anyways, I've been giving the immune system a lot of thought lately, and I realized that I think that's what I mostly focus on. Healing is my immune system, right? Because God made these incredible bodies, and He gave us these incredible immune systems to keep us healthy and safe and imbalanced, and our immune system's supposed to fight off sickness and disease and parasites. But the truth is if we're eating processed, packaged, junk food, fast food, flooding our bodies with lots of sugar, it destroys the immune system, and then our body is thrown out of balance. And then our body starts having a conversation with us that we really don't want to have, right? And the conversation is in the form of aches, pains, lumps, bumps, thinning hair, brittle nails, pimples, spots on the skin, all these symptoms, and that usually drive us to the doctor, and we just want to shut the conversation down. So the doctor gives that conversation a name, and he'll name it like diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure, Hashimoto's, like you name it. He'll give the conversation a name and call it a disease, so he can give us a medication to shut down that conversation, which is really kind of a dangerous thing, because then we're not really addressing the issue, right? We're not getting to the root issue and focusing on healing our body and bringing it back into balance. So yes, the first and foremost thing you need to stop doing is damaging your immune system. You need to surrender your body to the Lord and stop eating the packaged processed foods, the sugar, the wheat, rye, barley, oats, dairy, meat with nitrates, alcohol. Only a little bit of red wine once in a while is okay, but we got to stop the damage, and we got to start nutrifying the body. Our body needs 90 essential vitamins and minerals to function properly, and we need to drink tons of water and exercise. But above and beyond all that, I know I have taken terrible care of this body, and I gotta tell you, I'm kind of done cursing my body and being angry at my body because it's trying to talk to me. So I've switched it up lately, the past couple weeks, and now I thank my body when I see a pimple or white spots that are telling me that I'm not absorbing my nutrients, or I'm lacking vitamin A, or my hair's thinning, and that's a result of a magnesium, iron, zinc deficiency. So here's the thing: when you get a symptom, instead of getting angry at your body, whether you're gaining weight, or you have an ache or a pain, or you have your shoulders hurting, you got a kink in your neck because you're dehydrated or whatever. When you have a symptom, become a student of your body and figure out why. What is your body trying to say to you? And then get busy on giving your body what it needs, and it will reward you by healing your body and putting it back into balance. And so one of the ways I do this is medicinal mushroom powder. I have 3 here that I consume. And my most favorite, and I've talked about it before, is shiitake mushroom powder. And I have herpes, but when I take this, I don't have any herpes sores. It like keeps it dormant. I read a study many years ago of these people who took this that had herpes, and it healed them. I have not found that to be true, but it does help tremendously. When I run out of this, for sure I will get all the herpes symptoms and break out in a sore. But I just ran out of this recently and I was really shocked. I got styes in my eyes. My eyes were really tired and sore. And I thought that was so interesting. And I've tried researching it with shiitake to find out how shiitake affects our eye health, but I can't find anything. So I'm going to keep looking, but I definitely notice a difference in my eyes. Like when I'm taking it, my eyes are clear and bright. And when I'm not taking it, they're tired and sore, and I get these styes in them. So that's kind of strange. But I do not want to be without my shiitake mushroom powder. And all these powders, all these mushrooms, I get them from the Spirit of Health. It's www.spiritofhealthkc.com. I also take chaga mushroom and reishi mushroom. So all these mushroom powders, they're anti-inflammatory, antiviral. They help fight cancer. They're high in antioxidants. But these two in particular, reishi and chaga, they help people who are going through chemo with all the symptoms, the hair loss, the nausea, all that. These really help with those symptoms. But I just take these to boost my immune system, and I learned that from David Avocado Wolf. If you want to go on and look at any of his videos, he's taught me a lot about medicinal mushrooms. But his big thing is that he says start consuming medicinal mushrooms to build your immune system so that when you do come in contact with a virus, you're like safe. It like you stock up your ammunition. So this might sound kind of strange. When I take my, I put a tablespoon in my smoothie each morning. And when I do that and I'm drinking it, I just think of my body and my immune system like, yes, thank you. Now we could do our job, okay? So what I want to drive home in this little speech is like, let's start loving our bodies and loving the conversation our body is having with us instead of trying to like put duct tape over our body's mouth and say, I don't want to hear it. Just give me something to take away the pain. That's not going to get us health and vitality and energy and an abundant life, okay? So get yourself some medicinal mushroom powder, and I would suggest you go on Spirit of Health. They're a Christian company, and I think they have the best prices, and I really believe in their products and trust their products. The other thing I wanted to talk about today is triggers. Have you guys heard of triggers? They're things in our lives from our past that used to give us anxiety, fear, stress, depression, anger, and it could be anything. It could be a person, a place, a smell, a movie, a food, a sound. I've heard about so many triggers from people I work with. But here's the thing, guys. Triggers, if you're a son or daughter of God, triggers have no power over you. And instead of cowering when we encounter a trigger from our past, we should use that trigger to remind us that we are sons and daughters, that it has no power over us. And this happened to me actually last weekend. My husband and I were on our way to a restaurant to eat, like a little date, afternoon date, and he started talking about something that from my past, from all of our marriage in the past. When he would start talking about this subject, I would immediately get frustrated and angry. And so what I had done all those years is I had hardwired my brain that whenever he'd bring up this subject, I immediately would go into the fight or flight mode. My adrenaline would start pumping, my heart would pump, and my stomach like wrenches up, and I'm ready to fight. So he brought up the subject, and I felt my heart start beating fast and my stomach wrench, and I just closed my eyes, and I started breathing deeply, and I started speaking truth to myself. I actually like stepped outside myself and looked at the situation and was telling myself, this has no control over me. I control my emotions. I control how I feel. I control what I allow into my mind. And my husband's not attacking me. He's merely having a conversation with me. And so my husband just saw me. He's trying to talk to me, and I'm just like breathing. And he just looks over at me and he's like, what are you doing? He knows I'm strange. So he's probably like, oh, great. Now what is she doing? I just told him that this subject always just like wrenches my stomach, and I always feel like a fight coming on, and I just decided I'm not going to allow that anymore. So what I was actually doing, I was actually rewiring my brain. Remember I talked to you guys about this before? Whenever a trigger happens, your body is already, you've already pre-wired it, so it automatically goes to that response of anxiety, fear, stress, depression, anger, whatever. But you have the power to stop and breathe and speak truth to yourself and say, no, we're not going there. And if you do that for at least 21 days straight, you will actually rewire your brain and you will not respond in that way anymore. Right? So awesome. So we are designed and we are empowered to take our thoughts captive. Now, early on in our marriage, I would not have been able to stop and breathe and control myself. But what I would do is I'd use these little flip books and I would write truth on them. Whether it was scripture or just truth, like my husband's not causing a fight, he just wants to merely talk to me. And I would keep this with me. So my husband and I, we separated for a year, and I filed for divorce, and we got back together, and that's a whole awesome long story. And if you want to hear about it, make an appointment, and I'll tell you my whole testimony. It's amazing. But anyways, that was a little commercial. So when we got back together, the enemy for like a year was on me, speaking all these lies, negativity, stress, doubts, fears, worry, you name it. And so I would keep my little flip book with me, and whenever I would feel that attack, that trigger, I would pull out my book and I would just start reading truth. What was I doing? I was renewing my mind. I was actually rewiring my brain. And long story short, we have an amazing marriage. I love my husband. He's awesome. But it took being aware, paying attention to what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and then being intentional. What am I going to do about it? So I hope that was a good little tip for you. I went to Staples, I think yesterday, and they have a pack of 3 of these for a few bucks. So I bought a bunch for my clients, and hopefully they'll start using them. Well, those that have trouble with triggers or overcoming the lies the enemy is plaguing them with. So that's it today, Lord. Today, sorry guys. I'm always talking to the Lord. That's it today, guys. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope you come by and shop at our garage sale. And I hope that you go on the Spirit of Health and you buy yourself some medicinal mushrooms and you start healing and restoring your immune system so that it can kick out all those viruses, all the sickness, all the disease, and it can protect you so that you can have an awesome, healthy summer and you can work on your mission, right? To be love. So, sorry Max is not in here. He did not want to be in here. He was crying and wanted to go outside and play. But you got me, and I love you guys, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.